Welcome to Tariffs. Please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for more updates. Impeachment is a constitutional process woven into the very fabric of American government since its founding. It exists as a powerful tool for holding the nation's most influential officials accountable for their actions, no matter how high their office. The House of Representatives acts as prosecutor, debating fiercely and deciding whether to bring formal charges against a sitting president or other federal official. If the House votes to impeach, the process moves to the Senate, which transforms into a courtroom, holding a trial to determine whether removal from office is warranted. This is not a criminal trial, but a political one, with enormous stakes for the country's future and the balance of power. Donald Trump faced impeachment not once, but twice, an unprecedented moment that shook the foundations of American history and politics. These events deepened already existing national divisions, setting the country on edge and fueling passionate debates across the nation. Every headline, every statement from Washington seemed to heighten the tension as the world watched the drama unfold in real time. The nation was polarized like never before, with families and friends often finding themselves on opposite sides of a widening political chasm. The impeachments were more than just political theater. They became a true test of the core principles and resilience of American democracy. What are the limits of presidential power? How far can a president go before being held to account? How should Congress exercise its authority to check the executive branch and hold a president accountable for their actions? These were urgent, pressing questions, ones with real, tangible consequences for the nation's future and its people. The world watched closely as the United States navigated this political storm, wondering what the outcome would mean for democracy everywhere. The drama was filled with conflict, raw emotion, and moments that would be remembered as historic turning points. The story of Trump's impeachments will be studied for generations, as scholars and citizens alike seek to understand this turbulent era. It set the stage for a confrontation that would eventually reach the Supreme Court, raising questions about the very nature of justice and the rule of law. The journey was just beginning, with the nation bracing itself for the next chapter in this unfolding saga. Across the country, people waited anxiously, uncertain of what would come next, feeling the weight of history in every moment. The stakes had never felt higher, as the fate of American democracy seemed to hang in the balance. In this moment, American democracy itself was on trial, its future uncertain, its resilience about to be tested as never before. The first impeachment of President Donald Trump began with a single consequential phone call in July 2019, a moment that would soon send shockwaves through Washington and the world. During this call, President Trump asked Ukraine's newly elected president Volodymyr Zelensky to investigate Joe Biden, his potential 2020 rival, and Biden's son Hunter, who had business ties in Ukraine. This extraordinary request was linked to nearly $400 million in military aid that Ukraine desperately needed to defend itself against Russian aggression, raising immediate concerns about the use of presidential power. The central question quickly emerged: did President Trump leverage his office and U.S. foreign policy for personal political gain, putting his own interests above the nation's? Democrats called it a clear abuse of power, arguing that no president is above the law, and swiftly launched a formal investigation that gripped the country. After weeks of heated hearings and testimony, the House of Representatives drafted 2 articles of impeachment: abuse of power and obstruction of Congress, accusing Trump of undermining democracy. In December 2019, the House voted to impeach Trump, mostly along party lines, marking only the 3rd time in U.S. history a president had been impeached. The Senate trial followed, with dramatic arguments from both sides, broadcast live to a nation riveted by the historic proceedings. Trump's legal team denounced the process as a partisan political witch hunt, while Democrats insisted that accountability and the rule of law were at stake. Ultimately, the Senate acquitted Trump on both charges, again, almost entirely along party lines, deepening the nation's political divide. The first storm had passed, but the country remained bitterly divided, with passions running high on both sides of the political spectrum. The political skies over Washington were still dark and unsettled, as uncertainty and mistrust lingered. The stage was set for even greater conflict ahead, as the nation braced for what would come next in this unprecedented era. The second impeachment erupted after the January 6th Capitol attack. Trump's repeated claims of election fraud fueled tensions. On January 6th, he urged supporters to march to the Capitol. The resulting riot shocked the world and threatened the peaceful transfer of power. The House quickly impeached Trump for incitement of insurrection. This time, 10 Republicans joined Democrats in voting yes. The Senate trial took place after Trump left office. The prosecution used video and Trump's own words. The defense cited free speech. The Senate fell short of the two-thirds needed to convict. The events of January 6th would echo in the legal battles to come. At the center of this political storm stood Donald Trump, a president whose presence and decisions dominated the national narrative, shaping headlines and conversations across the country. His actions and rhetoric inspired fierce loyalty among his supporters, while at the same time, provoking intense opposition and protest from his critics, creating a nation deeply divided along political lines. In Congress, the divide was stark. Democrats, led by Speaker Nancy Pelosi, pushed forward with impeachment proceedings, while most Republicans rallied to defend Trump, highlighting the partisan tensions gripping Washington. The shocking events of January 6th, when a pro-Trump mob stormed the Capitol, fractured Republican unity and forced lawmakers to confront the consequences of political extremism. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court, now with 3 justices appointed by Trump, emerged as a crucial player in the unfolding drama, holding the power to interpret the limits of presidential authority. Chief Justice John Roberts, aware of the court's reputation, sought to protect its impartiality and maintain public trust in the judiciary during these turbulent times. The central legal question loomed large. Does a former president enjoy immunity from prosecution for actions taken while in office, or can they be held accountable in a court of law? Trump's legal team argued for absolute immunity, insisting that prosecuting a former president would set a dangerous precedent, while special counsel Jack Smith countered that no one, not even a president, is above the law. The Supreme Court justices deliberated, knowing their decision would not only affect Trump, but also define the future boundaries of presidential power for generations. The stakes could not be higher. At issue was the fundamental balance between accountability and unchecked authority at the very heart of American democracy. Across the nation, people anxiously awaited the outcome as news outlets broadcast live updates and citizens debated what the court's decision would mean for the country's future. The outcome of this historic, legal showdown would not only impact Donald Trump, but would also shape the very foundation of American democracy for decades to come. The impeachment battles played out across the nation and media. Trump's supporters saw the process as a political attack. His critics saw it as essential accountability. Rallies, protests, and media coverage deepened the divide. Cable news and social media became echo chambers, fueling polarization. The emotional toll was immense. Friendships strained, families divided, the sense of shared national identity fractured. The public's reaction became part of the story. The legal fight now unfolded under intense public scrutiny. After acquittal, Trump faced criminal charges for his efforts to overturn the 2020 election. His lawyers claimed absolute immunity from prosecution for official acts. Lower courts rejected this argument, but Trump appealed to the Supreme Court. The justices agreed to hear the case, pausing the criminal trial. The decision would have enormous consequences for presidential power. If Trump won, presidents could act without fear of prosecution. If he lost, it would affirm that no one is above the law. The trial's timing collided with the 2024 election campaign. The nation waited as the Supreme Court prepared to rule. The stakes were historic, for Trump, the presidency, and the rule of law. The country held its breath. The Supreme Court's July 2024 ruling rejected Trump's claim of total immunity. Former presidents can be prosecuted for criminal acts, but the court created a new legal test. Presidents have immunity for official acts, not private ones. The case returned to lower courts to decide which of Trump's actions were official or private. This delayed the trial, likely past the 2024 election. The ruling left the nation in legal and political limbo. Trump's opponents saw it as a missed chance for accountability. His supporters claimed partial victory and welcomed the delay. The decision left presidential accountability unresolved. The legal battles continue, with democracy's future at stake. America stands at a crossroads, still searching for answers.